we are the sum of our experiences. And if we closely look at this saying and relate it to our lives, it is so true. When we are born into this world, though we are very helpless, uh, we begin to experience life in its simplicity. And as we slowly start to grow up, our experiences are more intense, our experiences are more emotional, and somehow these experiences that we have experienced have made the person that we are today. So we are a sum of our experiences. But what are we experiencing in life? So our sages simply put life as three primary functions that are working together. So life consists of our body, our mind, and our spirit. But if we see our experiences, what are our experiences limited to? Our experiences are only limited to the first two aspects of our being, which is the body and the mind. The body is the most easiest thing to experience. Any changes in the body is felt directly by us. Changes in the mind we experience on a day-to-day basis. Every day we are learning something, every day we are growing, every day we are emotionally getting challenged, we are facing new problems, we are finding new solutions. So intellectually also there is tremendous change every day that we are experiencing. But when we move to the third and the most important aspect of our being, the consciousness, the spirit, are we having very spiritual experiences on a daily basis, or only the worldly and the materialistic experiences are there? So there is a great divide in experiences itself. What we are experiencing of the world is a very basic experience. It's the foundation of living experiences. But as consciousness expands, the potential in us to experience more is also there. But if the being is not connected, if the mind is not connected to the consciousness, then these experiences do not manifest. Hence, what happens is that we read about these experiences, we hear about these experiences, but we do not have these experiences. And this also causes a great discontentment in life. In life, we are all searching, we are all looking for something. And many people have tried to define what it is. Some people want fame, some people want money, some people want happiness. But if you look very closely to all the different mindly aspirations that we have from life, that we want to achieve this, we want this, we want that, the basic desire of every human being is to be satisfied in life. That when I'm satisfied, I'm happy and I'm content. But if you see that how we live our lives, this contentment is not there. Because if we were content, then the mind will not wander from one thought to the other, one desire to the other. Just because we are not content, that is why the mind is wavering and the mind is moving. Many sages have also very beautifully explained that it is the movement of the mind. It is the mind moving from one thought to the other, one desire to the other. That is the cause of great unrest in our life, great unhappiness in our life. And this unhappiness exists because we do not know who we are. So one of the most ancient wisdoms of Sanatan Dharma is Tat Tvam Asi, that you are what you are looking for. Now this sentence has a very deep meaning, that you are what you are looking for. Now what am I looking for? Now if I'm looking for contentment, if I'm looking at a point of saturation, then that point of saturation also has to exist within me. Now this is where things get a little complicated, because the human mind is designed to wander. It is designed to think one thought or the other. Now what we are thinking of this world is all the worldly thoughts. It's our worldly engagement. We are reacting to different reactions that we are receiving from this world. But spiritual experiences do not lie in these worldly experiences. For a spiritual experiences, the mind has to stop wandering and it has to be focused within you into something which is permanent. Now to understand what your essential truth is, you have to understand the wisdom of the scriptures, wisdom of our masters. So our masters first said that which within you is true cannot change. That means that which is unchangeable is your truth. Now, if I look within myself, there are so many things that are constantly changing, constantly evolving. I, as a person, am constantly evolving. What I was 10 years ago, I am very different today. And 10 years from now, I could be a completely different being than what I am today. So, there is a process of change initiated me. But if I'm constantly evolving and changing, what is my true aspect? Because there is nothing that is grounding me into my being. So, what our sages tried to explain was that within you, first try to understand what is not changing. Now, my angers come and go, my desires come and go, my feelings come and go. So, there is a constant change in them. Even in physically engaging the world, there are a lot of actions that come to an halt, then begin again. That means there is no action in my life which I am doing constantly, which I am doing permanently. But our sages then try to focus our minds on what? On our breath. Because there is only this one kriya, this one action that is happening non-stop, constantly, from the time we are born till the time we are going to leave this plane of existence. And that is the inhalation and the exhalation of our breath. Now, the breath being so simple, is somehow overlooked. Why? Because we do not see the simplicity of the breath and the importance of the breath. Because the mind has overpowered our senses, the mind is constantly engaging, and we think what we are experiencing through the mind and body to be true. So, this conditioning within us has to be broken first. And this conditioning can only be broken when you start doing the opposite. Today we are again and again engaging in this world, and somehow while engaging into this world, I'm still unsatisfied and I'm still unhappy. Then I have to stop engaging with this world and I have to start engaging not the external world but my internal world. Now, how do I access my internal world? That access happens through the breath, because the breath is this one kriya that is constantly happening and is the only permanent thing which holds your sustenance, your life together. So our sages said that momentarily, from time to time, that means from making good habits, that slowly you have to develop this sense of detaching from the world. That is why when trainees are given knowledge, they have always been encouraged to meditate every day for even small amounts of time. Because every day meditating is also breaking your mind's habit of wandering. So when you sit every day, you are disciplining your mind of wanting to connect with your spiritual side. And that wanting to connect is also a very great leap forward in your spiritual growth. So when we want to connect and when we sit, slowly the mind will not wander. Because instantaneously, if my mind's habit is to wander, the moment I close my eyes, I even want to meditate, the mind will start thinking about all the worldly desires, all the worldly thoughts again and again. But this habit also breaks with constant effort. So constantly we have to be true to ourselves, true to our path, true to the knowledge that Guru Maharaj Ji has given it, and understand it in a simple way. Say there is a very beautiful pond which is very serene and calm. If you chuck a stone into the pond, the moment the stone impacts the pond, the water of the pond, there will be tremendous waves. Now you can look at the waves and you can see them to be true, or another person could say that the waves itself do not have any identity. They belong to the pond, they belong to the water. Sometimes when we are experiencing certain things, we do not understand the depth of the truth of what we are experiencing. When we experience emotion, when we experience anger, we somehow consider those aspects of ourselves to be true. That is why every person in this world is somehow bound and somehow living with the desires of the mind only. Someone wants fame, someone wants family, someone wants position, someone wants a job, someone doesn't want his job. So if you see, whatever we are engaging in this world through our mind, and we think that it is very important to us and we have to do this, it's only a small aspect. It is something that we believe is very important to us. But in reality, the essence is that everyone's journey is towards the spirit. If you do not understand the spirit, then everything that we are doing worldly in this life also has of no significant value. So our sages said that fulfill your worldly duty, but be true to yourself also, to your spiritual duty. So slowly, our sages have explained to us the simple kriya of meditation, that take your mind and focus it on your breath, focus it on internal being. Within you, there is a jap of so and hung. Connect to that, and slowly, when a person does that, then a person will have a spiritual experience. He'll have an experience which is beyond the mind and the body. So that is the goal that we all have to focus. Now we know we are living in very unprecedented times, and there has been a lot of restlessness within everyone in this past 2 years. And when has this restlessness not been there? Now, say if this corona virus never came and this pandemic never happened, then still our mind was restless, but it was restless due to other things. Today, everywhere we go, because everything is sort of affected by the pandemic, so all our restlessness has been focused on what will happen if corona is there, what will we do tomorrow, how will our businesses grow. So corona has only sort of increased the restlessness in everyone. But restlessness was always there. That is why, since time immemorial, great men, wise men, and great masters have come again and again to teach us to how to elevate ourselves from this restlessness, how to fight this darkness within ourselves. So, in these dark and unprecedented times, it is very important to hold on to the message of the Master, to hold on to the love of Guru Maharaj Ji, to his compassion, and to his teachings. Because in our dark times, in our lonely times, when we also didn't know how our lives would move forward, but there was a guiding factor, a guiding love by Guru Maharaj Ji, and because of that guiding factor and his presence in our lives, we were able to overcome so many other challenges. So in the same way, this big challenge of corona that has come in our lives will also be overcome, but through strength and through unity. Today, as disciples of Guru Maharaj Ji, it is very important for us to understand and follow his message. And his message is of what? His message is that together if we unite, together if we believe that we can make a change, then we can, and together we can overcome it. Because in this corona, the past 2 years, there have been unprecedented changes in human lives. A lot of people have suffered because they have lost their businesses. A lot of people have lost their homes. A lot of people have lost their jobs. And in these times of uncertainty, where a person has lost everything, he's completely without hope that how will I move and go on living tomorrow. Then there were so many preemies that stepped up, whether it was giving food to the helpless, to the needy, giving masks and kits to the people, from doing distribution drives in old age homes and shelters all around Delhi, or giving stationery and study materials to thousands and thousands of poor children through mission education. All these aspects, there were thousands and thousands of charity drives done all over the country by preemies, because this was what was taught by Guru Maharaj Ji, that in darker times when man has no hope, we can be the hope and we can be the light of tomorrow. So it is very important to understand that when our spiritual essence is sort of grown, or say when our spiritual experiences become more than the experiences of the mind and body, then we enter a spiritual realm. And in this realm, things are very different. Because say a conscious person can live for his family, can struggle for his family. Even a more conscious being will struggle for his community. Even a more conscious being will struggle for his country, because he'll consider all his countrymen to be one. But there are very few people whose struggles even go greater beyond that. And they grow greater to the realms of where a person says, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that this whole world is my family. And a person, when he struggles for the whole world without any division, without any distinction. So this is the message of Guru Maharaj Ji. In these dark times, we have to put the greater step forward. In these dark times, we have to be the light that shines into this world, and we can do it by living the example of the Eternal Master, by living the example of Guru Maharaj Ji, that how he has continued to live his life with discipline, with dedication, and with perseverance. If we do the same, and we believe in ourselves, we believe in the word of God within us, then all things are possible. But that change has to come from within, that feeling has to come from within. So in this new year, I think so we should begin this new year with a greater resolve to fight the restlessness from within us, to fight the darkness from within us, and not from within us also, from the darkness around us. And once we begin to shine the light within us, then the darkness surely goes away. So we have to be the children and the warriors of light. And I'm sure that these dark times that have come will go again. And very soon we shall be able to meet again and have physical programs again that sort of we've been missing for the past 2 years. But I'm sure as times will change, we will move into a better future. But within us, we have to be pure, we have to be dedicated, and we have to be true to our path and true to the message of Guru Maharaj. Then only those positive change will happen. So blessings to all, Happy New Year, and all the Premis, Baiji, Mahatmajis all over are always in our hearts and in our thoughts. And I hope that by next year, if travel restrictions are less, we'll be able to travel and I'll be able to come and see everyone in the UK, the US, Canada, Mexico, Kenya, South Africa, Mauritius, Australia, all the trainees that are everywhere, in the Netherlands, we'll be able to meet again. Till then, take care and blessings to all.